Hello, everybody. This is Sandy Rutherford, and welcome to Wednesday's Wealth Live with Sandy R. This is our weekly get-together for 10-15 minutes, just sharing some of the wealth. And there's a ton of it. And what do I mean by wealth? I work with the top guy in the world, the top success and prosperity teacher in the world. So Bob Proctor is legendary, right? In this whole space of personal development, of success, of prosperity. So I work with him. He's my mentor. He's my teacher. And I'm learning from a lot of other people that have been around this space for, a century or more. And I'm talking about the people like Thomas Troward, Neville Goddard, Maxwell Maltz, Genevieve Behrend, Wallace D. Wattles. There's so much. And there's a lot of new stuff too. And because I work in this space and I study in this space, there's so much cool stuff to share. And that's what Wednesday's Wealth is all about. So thank you for joining me. And if you have any comments, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Or if you're on the replay, that's great. I'll check out the chat later on. I'll check back and see if there's any questions. Love to have a conversation with you because this stuff is life-changing. You work some of this information, I guarantee you, it'll have a massive impact on you and on the people around you. Guaranteed. Okay, so today I've got a question here that I get asked this question a lot in various forms, right? How can I stop the anxiety I feel around my ability to create my success? Because I'm scared to start a new chapter, because I don't know if I'm going to be successful, so I have anxiety, so I hesitate, so I don't start a new chapter. So I've got this anxiety. It's like, should I or shouldn't I? So that kind of question or sentiment are really common, and variations of that kind of question you can group into this. And let's just talk about this, okay? Well, first of all, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychotherapist, okay? What I am is a passionate student of the mind, of how the mind works. And as I just mentioned, I have been taught and mentored by Bob Proctor, and taught and mentored by a whole bunch of other people in this space as well. So I have a pretty decent understanding of how the mind works. Do I know it 100%? Of course not. No, I'm still learning a lot. But what I want to share with you is pretty powerful stuff, because I know that this is truth, and this has I can't tell you the number of people, number of clients that I work with that use this information to address their own anxieties around their own ability to succeed at big dream goals, because that's what we're all about at RF Success Academy, dream goal creation and achievement, okay? So let's just talk about this. Anxiety. Well, what is anxiety? Anxiety is a physical response, like feeling anxiety in the body, right? You could feel palpitations. You could feel kind of a tingling. You could feel your stomach kind of going, right? There's all sorts of ways that anxiety manifests in the body, but it's a body response. So where does anxiety come from? Now, another point to clarify, I'm not talking about any medical conditions, okay? I'm talking about the anxiety that you and I both feel frequently throughout our lives when we get in over our head, out of our comfort zone. I'm using those words for a reason. So where does that kind of anxiety come from? Because we've all felt it. So, you know what? Every successful person will tell you, absolutely. I had my doubts. I was scared out of my wits for a while. But they know how to get past that. So let me just explain this, okay? So we all feel these anxieties. Why do we feel anxiety? The bodily response, okay? If we back up and think about what we're thinking about, anxiety is a result of the emotion of fear playing out in the body. And what creates fear? Again, I'm not talking about seeing a wild animal on your street, okay? That's a different response. I'm talking about the fear that, oh, what if I blow it? What if I can't make any money at this? What if I go up on stage to say something and I forget my lines? Like that fear, that emotional response. Fear, that emotional response, is a result of what's going on in the conscious mind, what we are thinking, dwelling on. What does dwell mean? To dwell means to repeatedly think about. So if we keep going, what if I do this? What if this happens? Oh my gosh, what if it? And you keep dwelling on those horrible what ifs, spinning things negatively, then you start to doubt. You start to worry. And unless you clamp that off and go, I'm not doing that. Like, what if it all went really well? What if I don't forget my lines? Like I talk about this, what if spun negatively? What if I forget my lines? What if I fall going up on stage? Ugh. What if spun negatively is fear. What if spun positively? What if I don't forget my lines? What if I do a great job? What if everybody's standing ovation? Yeah. What if spun positively is faith. We have a choice. Either one of those hasn't happened. We're just spinning. So you have a choice. If you've got anxiety going on, and I just had a conversation about this yesterday. If you're spinning things negatively, you can stop it. If you become aware, okay, wait, I feel anxiety. What am I thinking about? Because you are dwelling on something. Because here's how it works. Whatever we consciously think about, repeatedly think about, ends up getting impressed into our subconscious mind, which is the emotional mind. So you keep thinking negative stuff a lot, and for long enough, fear is the result. Now, whatever is impressed into the subconscious mind has to be expressed by the body. Well, fear is expressed as anxiety. And it's a downward spiral unless we catch that, because anxiety can play out in the body, and we don't express all our anxiety. We tend to shut it in, so we suppress it, and that can lead to depression. And again, I'm not talking clinical here, okay? That could lead to depression and disease and disintegration. There is a whole downward spiral. Consciously, we're dwelling on something, and we can choose what to dwell on, okay? But consciously, we are dwelling on something such that we set up doubts and worries in the conscious mind, right? If you're doubting something, you're thinking something negative about yourself or a situation. So consciously, we're spinning something negative, doubts and worries, which sets up subconsciously fear, which plays out in the body as anxiety. And if that keeps going, you can get into that suppression, depression, disease, disintegration. That's an awful downward spiral. Whoop. Okay. How can I stop the anxiety I feel around my ability to create success? Well, first of all, you and I are sitting on a shitload of talent and giftedness and capability. There's no limit. And science and theology, the only two sources you can go to, both agree with that. So we don't lack the ability to create success. We don't. And if something is coming within, if it comes from within you, it's within you to achieve. Let me repeat that one. If it comes from within you, it's within you to achieve. We don't get any desire in our hearts that we're not capable of achieving. If it comes from within, it means you can achieve it. So understanding that, okay, I have the capability and the talent to succeed. So it's just the fact that I'm spinning negatively on some stuff. So if I catch myself, what am I dwelling on? Like the minute you're starting to feel anxious, ask yourself, what am I dwelling on? I'm spinning something negatively. What is it? May take you a little bit to go, okay, what is it? What is it? You might have to explore it because you might be kind of hiding what you're dwelling on. But it's there, I promise you. You're spinning something negatively to create the doubts and the worries. When you're worrying, what do? What are you doing when you're worrying? Right? You're saying, what if something happens? Oh, if that happens, that'll happen. Then this will happen, and then that'll happen, and then you're all worried, right? So you have a choice. You can catch that and go, okay, hang on, what am I spinning negatively? And Instead of spinning negatively, you can spin that positively. Because again, neither one is real. It's just you spinning it. So if you're going to spin some way that neither one's real, might as well choose the positive. Because when you spin positively, like, well, what if I do a great job? What if I get a standing ovation on that speech? Wow, that it feels so good. The more you spin positively, and keep spinning it positively, you're going to set up an emotion. Instead of fear, you're going to set up faith. Oh, faith is a beautiful and powerful feeling that will take you to heights you've never experienced. Faith. That's at the emotional level. Fear versus faith. Which one would you like? And faith plays out in the body the way fear plays out in the body as anxiety. Faith plays out in the body as well-being. Oh, don't you want to be in a state of well-being consistently? Of course you do. And what happens when we're in a state of well-being? We, instead of suppressing it, we express it. Oh, I'm feeling so good and this is happening. Life is wonderful. It's magical. It's extraordinary. So we're expressing. And then we're accelerating because we're into motion. We're into action, inspired action. So we are accelerating, and then we're not in dis-ease. We're at ease. This life is good. And when you're at ease, you are in creation mode. Instead of disintegration, you're in creation. And that is one of the laws of the universe. We either create or disintegrate. There's no such thing as stasis. Science will tell us that. So your choice. Do you want to be in creation mode? Or do you want to be in disintegration mode? The answer is obvious, right? So how can I stop the anxiety I feel around my ability to create my success? Well, if I let in the fact that I do have the gifts, the talents and capabilities, that's not an issue. Then it's a matter, okay, I need to work at this mindset. I need to spin positively. Because if I spin positively that, yes, I can do this. Yes, this is going to happen. Yes, I will have a great presentation. Yes, I will attract the right people. Yes, I am going to love this. Yes, I am going to get better and better. Then if I keep spinning that positively, I'm going to feel pretty darn good. Instead of fear, I'm going to be in faith. I'm going to have faith. You know what? This is going to happen. It's happening. Nothing's going to take me off my game. It's happening. That's faith, unwavering faith. And you know what? Because I'm in that state of faith, I'm now in a state of well-being, not anxiety. So how can I stop the anxiety I feel around my ability to create success? Let in that you do not lack the talent or capability. You don't. Full stop. Fact, you don't. And start spinning things positively. When you feel that anxiety, stop and ask yourself, what am I dwelling on? What am I spinning negative? Because you are. Okay? And flip it to the positive, the polar opposite. Flip it and start working that thought. What if everything works out? And you know what? Everything does tend to work out. So what if everything works out? What if I have a great time? What if it's hugely successful? What if it leads to this and that, this and more? Why not spin that positively? And you're going to take yourself away from anxiety into a state of well-being. That's how you can control it. That's how you can stop the anxiety and create faith and well-being. That's how the mind works. Because this is how the mind works. Whatever we consciously think about repeatedly eventually gets impressed into that subconscious emotional mind and sets up the emotions, whether it's negative emotions like fear, okay, or whether it's positive emotions like faith and happiness, joy. So we do have a choice on this, and most people don't really get that because we're not taught this. But if you're feeling anxiety, again, stop and ask yourself, what am I dwelling on? And then flip it to the positive, the polar opposite, and work the hell out of that thought, okay? Work it and feel it. It's like, oh, what if everything goes really well? It feels so good. You're going to feel a shift. I guarantee you. I have worked with so many clients because we all face this, especially when we're outside our comfort zone going for big dream goals. For outside the comfort zone, of course, we're going to have our doubts. We haven't been there before. We don't have the programming for it yet, right? So of course you're going to feel the doubts, the worries, and the fears, right? But when we're in this material together, we catch it. And I had that conversation I just mentioned. She was catching it. She goes, oh, I just went, oh, here I go. Why am I spinning negative? And I caught it. And I started to work the total opposite. And she said, Sandy, total shift in my vibration. I just felt like, you know what, I do got this. What am I being such a silly butt and spinning negatively? I'm going to stay on the positive side. It's a choice. And that is how you can stop the anxiety that you feel around your ability to create success or anything. Any anxiety, always stop and ask yourself, what am I dwelling on? I'm spinning something negatively. I keep working that same negative thought, and it does not feel good. You don't want to stay there. So if you don't do something about it, it could continue the spiral down, as opposed to catch it, and you catch it just from being aware. Go, oh, hang on, why am I feeling anxious? What am I dwelling on? That's catching it. And when you have the awareness to catch it, only then can you course correct. If the awareness isn't there, you won't catch it because you're not aware. Awareness is everything. All personal development shifts begin with awareness. And that's my wish for you, to become really aware. If you want to way more quickly become really aware, then I invite you to our next Fast Path to Success. This is our signature free training. And there's one coming up in August 9th to 13th, okay? You want to be on, I'll put the link here. If you think, I'd love to learn more about this, and you want to have the most amazing personal development journey over the course of our training, and it's free, it's only an hour a day, the sessions are recorded, there's giveaways, it's a powerful week, it's a high vibe week, and we get into this big time, and a whole bunch of other concepts that will absolutely change the course of your success, okay? So if you'd like that, check out the link. You can catch the details there, and I hope to see you on the Fast Path. But that's what you want to do, guys. I have a post to note on my laptop at all times. It says, repeat and feel the emotion and the action of the feeling. Awesome. That's awesome, Melanie. Repeat and feel the emotion. So repeat the positive. I'm guessing you meaning repeat the positive, right? Affirm all the good stuff. If you're going to spin something, and we do it all the time, we're constantly spinning something. Spin the positive. It's a choice, right? Again, neither one is reality. We're just spinning things. So choose the positive. That's great, Melanie. I love that. So again, if you want more of this, join our upcoming Fast Path to Success. It's an amazing journey. I'll put the link right here. And otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today for Wednesday's Wealth. I hope I shared the wealth to your benefit. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.